Now, as you may know, there are plenty of fascinating talks happening in the keynote room, and Aditya has just taken part in one of them. So would you like to introduce yourself and tell me what the talk was about?
Sure. So I'm Aditya Thakur. I'm the CEO of Libara Play. Libara Play is a content provider. It's an esports services provider, essentially taking care of the ethnic market. We're not chasing Hollywood content. We essentially take care of ethnic migrant content. In terms of what the keynote was all about, it was about blowing up the value chain across all elements in, in the ecosystem. You're obviously trying to understand how linear gets positioned versus OTT, the role of on-demand, the role of search, the role of aggregators across this entire space. What do you actually look at competition? What do you look at collaboration in this space? How are pirates attacking this ecosystem? What do customers want going forward? A real combination of all of that. And I think it was really interesting because you've got people from very different backgrounds. And in a sense, what unites everyone in that keynote session of there is ultimately you are looking at servicing the consumer with a certain content proposition. And all you're trying to figure is how exactly each one is positioning their products, how you're differentiating your offerings, and how each one's going to survive over the next 2-3 years as our boundaries across each other's businesses keep shrinking, or should I say disappearing, and we get into each other's space. It's also about how every stakeholder's got a bit of a role to play in this. A content partner's got a role to play in terms of what how they're going to syndicate, how they're going to take away boundaries from exclusive content, things like that. I think telcos and broadband providers have a real role to play in making entertainment truly mobile. I think that's a big one. Today it's really seen mainly as a living room thing. To make it truly rich form of entertainment, you need mobility to step in. That's where telcos and broadband need to play a big role. So it's really an amalgamation of all those topics, and I thought it was brilliant. Yeah.
So we're looking at how partnerships with brands and partnerships and collaborations can really strengthen this transitioning time period, I suppose, changing technologies.
Massively. And I think that what's really interesting is while there'll always be competitive strategies, what's interesting is within those competitive strategies, you've also got to figure how you collaborate ultimately to make sure that you are still able to service the consumer the best you can in the best possible mix that you can possibly create. I just don't think walled gardens are a way of things going forward, and I think from that perspective, it's really, really key that we collaborate even with all our own different identified individual strategies. We've got to collaborate together to make sure we're satisfying the consumer demand.
So in a line, what would you say, or what would you hope is the most important thing that people have taken away from the talk today?
Well, you simply have to blow up the value chain to survive in today's day, and you need to collaborate in order to compete effectively.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, and do make sure you catch the rest of the talks going on in the keynote room today.